Why do people find religion when they first go to prison? Is it legit? Yes, maybe, no. That's what we're here to talk about. I am Eric. This is another episode of From Prison to the Streets. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you to all of my subscribers and all of my viewers. I really appreciate you giving me your time. Thank you for interacting with me in the comments section. I always like hearing your stories. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for your feedback. So if you're not subscribed, want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe, be sure to drop a like. It tells YouTube this is relevant content, and it will push this video and more videos like it out to more people, which would be a good thing. So prison religion or jailhouse religion. Let's talk about this. Why does it happen? Why do people suddenly flock to religious groups when they get arrested? Well, in my opinion, it's for a few reasons. I think they feel guilty and remorseful and feel the need for change in their life. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially in a country like the United States, where a lot of us are brought up in households that take us to church or other religious groups. I would say it's fairly common for us to associate upright behavior with a spiritual or religious lifestyle. So people want to change and they go to church because that's what they've associated with positive change. And people want spiritual development. You know, people go to prison and they have a lot of free time on their hands. So they work out, they develop physically, they get buff, they read books, they develop intellectually. And they will often go to religious groups and they will seek after spiritual development. Nothing wrong with that either. I'm all for it. I'm all for development, bettering yourself in whatever way you can. I'm all for that. Another thing that I think is a cause for some people flocking to religious groups is that they want to believe in a higher power that has the ability to change their circumstances somehow. You know, if you're in prison, you're stuck in a cell a lot, they tell you when you can eat, they tell you when you can shower, you have maybe 3 sets of clothes to wear. You're really limited on what you can do. You're separated from your family, from your friends, the things that you love to do in the free world. So if you don't have any hope in the appeals process, some people have a lot of grounds for appeals, some people don't. If you don't have any good grounds to appeal your case and you're looking at doing a lot of time, sometimes people will seek out a higher power and hope for some form of divine intervention. They think that if they believe, or if they have faith, or if they pray, or live a certain way, that God or whatever higher power they believe in will intervene and change that circumstance. And I don't mean to negate the possibility of this happening. I'm a very open-minded individual. I'm not here to bash anybody's religious views. You know, I think religion, spirituality is a good thing. It can be very beneficial to people. So, you know, I'm very open-minded. But, you know, that's another reason why people do that. They want to believe in a higher power that can affect change in their environment. This ties into another thing that I think contributes to people flocking to religious groups when they are incarcerated. They want hope. Hope can get you through all sorts of hardship. You'd be amazed at what sorts of things you can endure when you have hope for a greater future. It's amazing. Hope is a very special thing. And religion gives a lot of guys hope. A lot of people who are incarcerated find hope in their spirituality or their religion. Once again, I am all for that. Community is also provided by religious groups. So let's say you go to prison, You're separated from your family, your friends, you lost your community that you had on the streets. There's a few different communities you can be a part of in prison. You can go join a gang. That's something that happens. Another thing you could do is you could go to church. You could develop a spiritual community. And you could find acceptance there, which is something that a lot of people in prison are seeking. It's something that they've never experienced before. A lot of people who go to prison felt a lack of acceptance during their lifetime. They may have, you know, not felt particularly accepted in school and whatever. Anyway, not going to go down that one, but religious groups provide a community and acceptance for people. Religious groups can also offer protection to some people. Guys are coming into the system, they're young, they don't know people, they're kind of naive. They can go to a religious call out and meet some older inmates, guys who have done some time, guys who know their way around the prison, who know the hustles and, what's good, what's not good, what's real. And they can kind of show these new guys along the path, and they can develop friendships, and they can kind of look out for each other. Now, there's a downside to this too. Some people will go for protection, but go about it completely the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. Maybe, yeah, we'll go with that, for the wrong reasons. I don't know if there's a right reason for some of these people. I have very strong opinions, but I'm going to try to be objective on this. Okay, so there are people in prison that nobody wants to associate with. There are people in prison that are targets, I'm talking about pedophiles. I'm talking about rapists. People who have victimized women and children in pretty brutal ways. Those people will go to a call out because call outs are neutral grounds. A religious group with a scheduled time that you attend is called a call out. And guys will have horrible cases, and they'll go to a call out like, let's say, the Christian call out, because they know that in Christianity, you're not supposed to judge each other, and you're supposed to be forgiven of your sins. And guys will go to these religious call-outs knowing that it's a neutral grounds and people are going to have to associate with them. People that normally wouldn't associate with them on the yard. And they won't actually have any interest in the religion itself. The religious volunteers, the clergy who come in off the streets, who volunteer to work in prisons, a couple of days out of the week, they don't see these guys every day. Inmates like me see these guys every day, or saw these guys every day. And I would see them. They would go to church and be, super hallelujah while they were at church. And they never read the Bible. They didn't read the Bible. They didn't live a Christian lifestyle, when they were in the cell house or on the yard. That's the thing about prison. You're living in such close proximity to other people, you learn really quickly what they're about. And I had a lot of friends in prison who were Christians, legitimately Christians. They were sincere in their faith. They were in that Bible. They were praying. They conducted themselves a certain way. You knew they were Christians. You knew they were about that life. Then I had friends who went to church and then they would come back and they would get high. They would get drunk. You know, they would be cussing. They never picked up the Bible. They never prayed. They didn't live that lifestyle. They weren't about that life. They basically went to church so they could get out of their cell and hang out. Well, yeah. So there's people with sex cases who do the same thing. They're not about that life. They know they can go up to the Christian call out or whatever other call out it might be. They can hang out. They can talk to people and feel accepted, and no one's going to beat them up because it's neutral grounds and because they're supposed to be forgiven and not judged and all that good stuff. And as you can tell, I kind of have strong feelings about this and strong opinions. What I've said is, even though I have strong emotions about it, this is not just an opinion. This is what happens. This is what people do. Objectively, there are people with really horrible sex cases against children who go to religious call-outs just so they won't get beat up. And it's really irritating me, and it's a slap in the face to the people who are at those call-outs for legitimate reasons, because they want to build a spiritual foundation and they desire spiritual development. Yeah, so let's talk about the legitimacy here. I have talked about some forms of prison religion that are completely legit, at least in the fences and behind the walls. They're legit. There's some people that are very sincere. They seek spiritual development. They want to change their lives because they feel guilty and remorseful. They want to believe in that greater power and find hope. They want to build a spiritual community. All that is beautiful. But is it legitimate? Is it lasting? Or is it just a prison thing? For some people, it is lasting. I have known people that have got out of prison and stayed out of prison and stayed steady going to church or whatever other religion they adhered to. Hey, that's awesome. If it helps you get out and stay out, I'm all for it. Absolutely. And then there's those guys that weren't in it for the right reasons and it wasn't really legitimate. As soon as they get out, they start getting high. They start robbing people, thieving, going and getting hookers and booze and you name it. And they go right back to prison. So, my take on it, is it legit? For some people, yes. Is it all a sham? For some people, yes. So there you go. It all depends on the sincerity of the individual. You can't just make a blanket statement about it. Some people are going to be sincere in their faith and some people aren't. So, you know. Now, I think that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you guys found it insightful or helpful in some way or cleared up some question. Maybe you know somebody who's in prison who has all of a sudden been turned on to a higher power of some sort. Maybe this will give you some insight about that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Before I go, I want to say, if you have any questions for me about what prison's like, what it's about, or just questions for me in general, leave a question down in the comments. I'm going to do a Q&A fairly soon if I can get you guys to ask some questions. I'm also putting together what I would like to call a freedom list instead of a bucket list, because up until, well, except for the last 2 years, I was incarcerated all my adult life. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done. Last year was the first time I went to a bar, and I was 29, so kind of crazy. So yeah, I would like to put together a list of things I would love to do now that I'm out, and I'm looking for suggestions. There's a lot of stuff I don't even know about. So whether it's a food, activity, whatever, give me the suggestion. I'll try it right here on the channel if I can. And I think there was something else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, be sure to stick around because there's going to be more cool videos, more new content. I'm going to do a prison fitness video. I need to get in better shape for a music video I'm doing coming up. So I'm going to be going through my prison fitness program. I'm going to show you how I got fit in prison and stayed fit. Well, up until the last couple of months, I've been eating too much. I'm going to revisit prison weapons. When I did that video, I didn't have a mic. So I'm going to try to redo that video and kind of go over some different ideas about that. And yeah. So we got a few cool things coming up. I'm also going to continue my story about when I came back from the mental hospital. So we'll continue that story. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope your life is going good. And if it's not, I hope you get through whatever hardship you're going through. Just remember to have that hope in a better future. Because it will get better. It will get better. So yeah. I'm Eric. This was From Prison to the Streets. I'll see y'all later.
Break these chains.